Robert Downey Jr.'s life has been full of ups and downs, from heavy substance abuse and legal troubles in his youth to arguably one of the best-known actors of all time. This is the fall and rise of Robert Downey Jr. From as young as 8, he claims he was addicted to drugs. He was introduced to drugs when he was just 6 by his father, who was a movie director. Taking drugs with his father was a way they bonded together. He appeared in a number of his father's movies, which eventually led him to study acting as a teenager. Following from his parents' divorce, he dropped out of high school and moved to New York to pursue an acting career. Things started out pretty well for him, with appearances in films like Weird Science leading him to earn a spot on Saturday Night Live. Unfortunately, he arrived at just the wrong time, as the 1985 season he starred in is known as one of the worst in the show's history.
It is my pleasure to meet you.
As a result, most of the cast was fired and replaced.
Certain quality to it that kind of detracted from the brilliant.
During this time, Robert was dating the actress Sarah Jessica Parker, who allegedly helped him control his alcohol and drug problems in amongst his acting jobs. He was having huge success in the late 80s, with praised performances and Less Than Zero and Chances Are. Even though he was seeing huge success on the screen, he was still battling drug addiction. In 1988, his then manager forced him into rehab, only for Downey to come out of rehab and fire her for putting him in there. In the 90s, his problems got worse and worse, and although he would sometimes get clean for a few months and was starring in more and more movies, even earning an Oscar nod for his role in Chaplin, he would eventually go back to his old self. Jessica Parker would go on to split with him due to his drug abuse. He was also arrested several times and would even be found barely clothed in his neighbor's bed. As a result, he was sent to a drug rehab program by court order. He then escaped, but was captured and shortly after sent to jail. In 1996, he was infamously arrested for speeding with possession of cocaine, heroin, and a .357 Magnum. He said throughout his time in prison, he was beaten by other inmates, sent to solitary confinement, and would clean pizza pans for 8 cents an hour. In 2000, he was out of rehab and working on the show Ally McBeal, earning him lots of praise and support for his performance. But he still had a difficult relationship with drugs. After he was arrested for possession, the producers of Ally McBeal had him written out of the show, and yet again, he was sent to rehab. But 2001 onwards looked brighter. He decided to start to fight his addiction, and in mid-2001, he earned his first post-rehab acting job, famously lip-syncing in Elton John's I Want Love music video. Downey continued his recovery throughout the 2000s, with massive roles coming his way such as Sherlock Holmes. It wasn't too long till a life-changing role came his way. He credits sobriety for the phenomenal career momentum he has enjoyed over the past few years. In 2008, he was casted to play Iron Man, which changed his life forever. As Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. became wrapped in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Iron Man films alone got in total $2.4 billion in the box office, leading him to become one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood.